Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play the Ball. All of the traditional survival maps are done. Attica, Tunisia, Tepidin, Amini, and Nextec. Now it's time to finally go on to some different maps, starting with Quizaz. Quizaz translates into he will go out, he will escape, he will come out. It's a massive puzzle-only DLC level made by some of the students at Future Games Class 2012 under the supervision of Orensis, or our Orensis. But Future Games is a school in Stockholm, Sweden. Some of the people who interviewed the project lead questioned when a kind of puzzle-related challenge mode was going to be made for the game. Well, their prayers were answered with this map. It only took 3 years for it to show up. It was finally released to the public, I think, roughly December 5th of 2013. People were quite surprised when it kind of showed up and an update was made. But yeah, now Quizaz is surprisingly interesting, actually. I don't know why they were sitting on this game for this level for roughly a year, but it's quite interesting. It has its ups and downs, but it's quite good. Now that part wasn't the first challenge. The first challenge begins with this. We have a number of things to actually look at. One of them is that deactivated block over there. We actually can't hit it because it isn't lit up. But apparently one thing is actually going to get me confused once I put the ball up there. Because, well, you have to get up there somehow. And now the block has activated. When I was playing this one before, well, that didn't happen before. So I don't know what was going on. Well, let's get a good look around. We have a number of hammer-related business to take care of. The main thing we want to do is actually get the ball all the way up here. But since we can't bring it up the stairs with us, we're going to have to find a different mode in order to do that. It's going to help with this block. It's the only one of the 4 blocks up here that we're able to actually get to. The other ones are apparently just decoration. Now the reason we want this here is because we're going to drop down on top of it. This will allow us to get up to the pipes here and begin our chain reaction of getting stuff to work. And because we have 2 blocks that we're actually able to move now. But first, a crack in the wall. These cracks in the wall are always fun to break down. This will get the other half started. These are wonderful square holes for square blocks. Or switches that are really good to hit. There we have it. Now, what is this going to do once we put all of this stuff together? One detail on the mummies laying around here that I kind of question, but it's extremely nitpicky, is I didn't notice the detail on their fingernails. That may have been added for this specific map, but I'm not sure. But now that we've hit all of the switches, we've allowed water to rise because we've plugged up the holes necessary. This lifts up the platform, which means that we can get the ball up here now. And that's it for the first challenge. puzzles aren't really that difficult, to be honest, but they are rather cool in what the ball is capable of doing once the reins have been put in someone else's hands and someone gives them a different perspective. And this is a key example of that. This is a cool contraption, which is the embodiment of our second challenge. We got arrows. We can change the angle of this thing, and we can also move it left and right, around in a pivotal fashion. So let's put the ball up here and see what happens. Target's up in the ceiling, crack as well. Well, we can't get that by just launching the ball ourselves, so let's see what happens. I think it would have been even cooler if it was actually able to work the way I wanted it to work. That is also not how to work this thing, but it's literally a catapult system. Quite cool. And I really wish that it wasn't just here, and that it was put in years before. You do get a bit misguided with what angle will work where. So that's one down, and apparently there are 4 switches to hit. So let's find them all. As the door slowly lowers, clunky enough. Next up, let's deal with this crack in the wall. See what we can actually do about it. Well, that wasn't what I was expecting to do. Another thing that I was testing out is, well, it's kind of a nuisance in order to reload the catapult all the time and just by lowering it to the bottom, so I was thinking, well, maybe I can do it from the middle. And you can, with some kind of janky, glitchy business. And launch. Bingo. Except for the fact that it didn't go all the way through. If the game really wants to cooperate, it only takes one shot in order to break the wall and make the ball continue its route of where it's supposed to go, but usually it'll take 2. But where does it go? Oh, there it is. It's on the top of this elevator. Yeah, they also made an elevator in this one. And there's switch number 3. But how do we get this thing out? Like so. Let's go to meet it and get that final switch. And there's challenge 2 complete. It's fair to say that in terms of this puzzle-only level, that the puzzles aren't necessarily extremely challenging, but more as a increased difficulty, but also a proof of concept of other things that can be done. Challenge 3 is where things are going to be a bit more interesting. Our goal is through that fan, and we have 3 switches. We got a player switch. And as you press one switch, it actually makes the fan spin a little bit slower. So we gotta find the player switch, the ball switch, and also there's the block switch. So where's the block? Get all of them pressed so we were able to get through the fan. And guess what'll help us? An anti-gravity field. Now, the first time I played through this, I was kind of getting stuck in a number of places, specifically this chamber. Mainly because, well, there's the block up there. But if you look from the main room with the fan, you're going to be noticing some specific things. I need to get up this way. And now to get this block down. If you look up from the main room, you're going to be noticing this little perch up here, and you're going, how can I get up there? And, well, that's how you do it. Anti-gravity. Now the fan is going a little bit more slowly, so now we have one last switch to press, which is ours. And there's challenge 3. They're very simple, to be honest, and I don't really have a problem with that. They're good logic puzzles. I wouldn't see how these actually would fit in the main game, like in a main campaign, but in terms of just like brain teasers, they're pretty good. The sad thing is, for the next challenge, we unfortunately have to get rid of our anti-gravity because it would make this next challenge really stupidly easy. So, challenge 4. Challenge 4 involves us being completely stationary and only the ball is allowed to move. The reason for this is because when we step on our player switch here, it makes the fan go. The fan allows for the ball to move to higher heights than before. If we step off, well, the fan stops working. And I'm glad I'm not falling down there anytime soon. You can be a bit confused by this at your first time through it, simply because you think you would be able to do something else other than this. And the main challenge you're going to be finding for this room is getting your aim correct. This is a serious area of stupid hockey. The first time I played this, I was kind of misled by the symbols. Because in terms of the main campaign, the symbol on that circular area over there, that is 3 times throughout the room, is for the anti-gravity field that the ball is able to generate when going through. So I was kind of looking at that area. But no. Dancing merrily through the air, we're going to hit a no, we're not. No way that's gonna work. Although the serious rubber banding, because of the lighter than air kind of feeling that the ball has, is kind of nice, but kind of bad all at the same time. And we're good there. The game is surprisingly lenient when it comes to pressing those ball switches, which you have to pay attention to the establishing shot at the beginning of the challenge, otherwise you would never know that the switches were actually there. Because come on, it took one shot to get that one? Oh well. But now that cage has lowered, which means that we have to get the ball into the cage. Simple enough. Simple enough once the aim gets perfect. Now this is where the challenge gets cool. Because we get to use a sense of physics that we haven't used before in the entire game. It only took this long for it to show up. And that is swinging. You know, swinging is not a big thing, but in terms of not seeing it in this game until now, until 3 years after the fact, that is pretty awesome. Ta-da! We have broken stuff! Now what do? Well, we play target practice with the fan. Except apparently I'm stepping on the switch and it's doing nothing. Nothing. There we go. One good shot ought to do it. Bingo. And through the pipe the ball goes, and through the door we go. To challenge 5. Might as well go after the ball so it doesn't get further away from us. Hey guy! Hello! But that is a fair amount of challenges for one day. So, with this room looming over us, I'm gonna leave you right now as we take a break. Next time, we're gonna go on to challenge 5 and see what's in store for us here, because it looks like something big. See you next time, everyone!